for example, you tell your teenager, be home. They ask you, what time do I need to be home? Be home at a reasonable hour. And they get home at 2 a.m. and you're freaked out. And then when they get home, you give them a sermon, you give them a lecture. And in their mind, they're thinking, well, that was reasonable. Unreasonable would have been 5 a.m. But in your mind, no, you expected midnight, right? Well, you need to be clear and specific. That's another tip whenever you give them a guideline. Influence is the better and long-term lasting avenue of friendship with your kids. Taking away financial support, making them feel guilty. You know, as a mom, like, honey, you don't know how it worries me when you get home so late at night. It won't work anymore.
Or using financial support, like as a means of control, right?
Yeah, best case, they think is hilarious that you're trying to control them as little kids when they're adults. Worst case, they will not want to have contact with you. And I'll be honest with you, that's an area where I struggle so much. And many times I have to apologize to my adult kids because either I try to control them indirectly by showing disapproval, and I think they were afraid to share what they were really thinking with me. And that's not what you want in a friendship, right? So it's strategically letting go of control. It doesn't mean that you're giving up influence on your teenager. You're simply replacing it with communication. And the author says that you'll find out that when you give freedom in a particular area, for example, he talks about teenagers have different territories in their lives. They have their room, they have their friends, they have the music they like, they have the clothes they like to wear, the curfew, what time they want to go to bed. And he says that you need to gradually start giving them freedom, one at a time. Once you give them freedom, for example, music, what would it look like to give them the freedom in the music they listen to?
Well, I think it's interesting because we used to try to control this with our older ones. We had a certain genre of music or, standard that we held for our family. And, you just need to realize that you can't even control that. There's so much technology. There's so many ways and places to listen to music that you can't even control it. So that's a really good area to give up because, like it or not, you don't have control of their music. And so all you have is influence and communication. Well, that's what you want to have. You want to have influence and communication. So yeah, you just let them know, hey, your dad and I have talked, and we really trust you that you're gonna listen to music that is good for you and that you like. And we would just ask, you have younger siblings, so the things that we consider appropriate, and if there's anything that is inappropriate, we don't want it played out loud in our home. And you put some limits, but you just let them know that you're not going to be checking to see what they're listening to. It's their decision.
Respect them as you would respect an adult. And today is more relevant than ever with the presidential election that is so divided. We live in the U.S. and people tend to cancel each other and just hate each other if you don't agree with their political affiliation. What a great opportunity, and this is something that I'm just recently learning and applying, to allow your kids to think differently than you, to disagree with them and be okay with it.
And be able to have conversations, because that should open up the communication. If they don't think you're going to try to control it, then you can talk about, hey, so what is it you like about that artist? And when you hear that, doesn't it bug you? Because this is how it affects me. Does that bother you? And listen to them.
Yeah, but be like, hey, but I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's your thing.
Yeah.
But if your kids are not opening up about certain subjects, it's probably because they feel that you're going to judge them. They don't feel free to open up their minds to you. Check out this conversation, right? Say that a mom asks this kid, his 13, 14-year-old, ask what? Her kid. Oh, thank you.
Her son.
Yeah, her son. And hey, where's your friend that was going to pick you up? And he's like, oh, he didn't come. He canceled on you at the last minute again? Instead of being like, I can't believe it, blah, blah, blah. I tell you, he's not a good friend. He doesn't care about you. No, instead of saying that, well, the son would reply, Mom, I told you, he forgot. He had to do some stuff for his dad. He's a good guy. The way the mom should respond here in this situation is, hey, who you're friends with is up to you. I have no idea if he's a good guy or not. Besides, you're too old to have your mom tell you who's a good guy. I'm just saying, if it were me, I think I feel a little bit blown off. And the son may say, once he felt that you give him a little room, it does bug me a little. And you can say then, well, whatever. I'm sorry it happened again. What about that guy in your soccer team, Carlos? He seems pretty cool. Yeah, he's great, but he lives 20 minutes away. Wow, that's a long way. And that's a good point, honey, that you brought up on the Spanish live that we just did. You don't necessarily have to have a solution for everything they bring up.
I think we want to be the solution givers, you know, and it translates into a sermon. And usually we've rehearsed it in our head and we've been thinking about it and we come to them with this great discussion. You know, it's not a discussion, it's a sermon. And we think they're listening, but it's like, or actually we don't think they're listening. We're like, listen, are you listening to me? No, they're not listening. They have tuned you out, you know. That doesn't work.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to end it right here. We're going to continue next week. And we really want to encourage you, if you have a situation like that, you know, write in the comments or send us a message. We do private coaching for those people who like to have coaching, because we believe that why shall it profit a man to gain the whole world if he loses his soul? Why shall it profit a man or a woman to gain the whole world if he loses his family or her family? So I know that many of you have your own business, you have your career, you want to be successful in it, and you feel like you may have to sacrifice your parenting, but you don't have to. You can have both if you are a good manager of the resources that God has entrusted you with. We want to help you with that. So send us a question, comments, things that have worked for you, things that have not worked for you. And if you know of a person who you think will benefit from this information, share the link, like it, subscribe to our channels, follow us on cesarandpam.com. And
yeah, think of something positive that you can say to your teenager today. Show them that smile, that affirmation that maybe they haven't received in a while from you. We're Cesar and Pam with cesarandpam.com.
Show them your love. Open up your ears. We believe in you. Thank you. See you on the next one.